Okay, Spartans, welcome to session number 34 of the Stay Home Spartans lockdown sessions. As always, we have quite a lot to get through, so I want to get going right away. Make sure that the surfaces around you are suitable for what we're going to be doing. Okay, so if you're in socks on a laminate floor, that's probably not the best idea in the world. Any feedback after the sessions, get in touch with me on Facebook, on Instagram at Neil Gallagher Training. Alternatively, let your coaches know, let your captains know. They can get that feedback to me for future sessions. So what we're going to start off with, guys, we're going to start off right away. Is going to come into our world's greatest stretch. So guys, some of the regular attendees will know this one. That's that press up position, that big step forward, and that rotate up towards the ceiling, and then back down, step back and step forward on the other side. So we're just going into that big twist each direction. Going for 1 minute in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Let's go. So it's that big step forward, big rotation each time, and just keep alternating for that full minute. Remember, what we're looking to do here is mobilize. We're looking to get moving. We're not worried about how fast or how many reps you get in. We're looking for good quality each time. When you step that foot forward, try and get it flat onto the floor. If you can get it flat onto the floor, then get that rotation in there. So again, another 30 seconds. I'm just looking around now. I've just started winning the boys in the last week, and I'm just spotting bits of food all over the floor at the moment. So from there, we're then going to come into our lunge and rotate. Again, we're still going to be warming up, so we're not worried about speed. What we're looking at doing is just getting good quality movement. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in 5 seconds, just into that lunge, rotate in, rotate out, and back up to standing. And then just repeat the same thing on the other side. So that down, rotate in, rotate out, and back in. And obviously you can make that smoother, more explosive as you go through. Sorry, the perils of training at home. So again, it is that step in, rotate both directions, back up onto your feet. And just try and really focus on getting that across. And again, obviously guys, for any rugby movement, looking to be able to rotate to the right, to the left, is going to be pretty valuable movement. So again, you want another different way to challenge yourself in the last 15-20 seconds of this one. You can actually come into a double rotation. So challenge your balance, twist twice in each direction. See how that knocks you off your balance a little bit, forces you just to think about that movement that little bit extra. From there, we're going to come into a deep squat. So what we're going to try and do, keeping feet flat on the floor. So trying to keep your feet flat on the floor. Don't rise up on your toes. Keep your feet flat and sink down as low as you can. So you're trying to rest your hamstrings onto your calves as much as you can, really sitting down into it. And all we're going to do is we're going to hang about in that position. So we're going to work on that sort of hip mobility, work on that kind of hip position. Now, some of you guys have done this with me in the last couple of weeks. If you have, you know, some of the things that you can push into. So drop the elbows inside the knees, use the hands, try and push the knees apart, create that extra bit of space in the hips, and play about with it. Now, obviously, if you can do palms of the hands together, you can go a bit further. You can go one knuckle, one palm. That's about as far as I would go. But if you've got a bit more flexibility, you can go knuckle to knuckle, and again, create that bit of space. Like I say, we're doing 2 minutes of this one. So if you do need to stand up out of it, it's not an endurance exercise. So if you feel like your hips are getting stiff or getting tired, feel free to stand up and shake them out at any stage. What we can look at as well is that back position. So why don't you try and get hands flat on the floor, and then from there try and get hands up into the air above the head, and then back down onto the floor. So you just work in that position. So each time, the higher up you can reach, the straighter the back becomes. So again, if you're in a resting squat, you'll be pretty rounded over as you rest down into it. As you raise the hands up, you're trying to lift through the chest. You're trying to keep the back flat and then relax down. So you should feel quite a lot of the muscles around the back engage to try and lift your arms, to lift your chest up in that position. Another 10 seconds or so. So another 10 seconds, and the last one we're going to come into is going to be a press up and twist. I'm only going to go for 90 seconds on that one. So I'm going to change over, press up and twist. So you can go for the press up in between, or you can just do the twist. So it's that side. This is the basic one to side. If you want to make it a little bit more of a challenge, throw in that press up in between and add that twist. Try and keep it nice and smooth. And again, if you need to, you can drop onto the knees. You can do the same thing. So from the knees, and then as you come up, twist. So it's onto the side, back into that press up, and twist to the other side. So same thing. If anybody wants to make it even more challenging, get your feet up on a chair. Do it that way. 40 seconds in. We're going to do a minute and a half, so just keep going on this one. Again, we're looking to warm up the shoulders, warm up the upper body. So it's about getting that movement in there, so try and open up through the chest. So whenever you come up out of the press up, you're not just flicking a hand up into the air, you're trying to turn the whole body into it and then back down. And then same thing, you're going to try and turn the whole body into it each time. So really open up. 20 seconds remaining, 20 seconds remaining. We're then going to come into our main bit of the circuit next, but I'll give you a chance to get a drink first. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay guys, grab yourselves a quick drink. Grab yourselves a quick drink. There are 4 exercises to run through. 4 exercises. We're going to do 3 rounds altogether. So that's just 12 minutes in this block. We then get another break, and then we're going to do another 5-minute block after that. That's the work section of today's done. So first exercise, dead simple, is just going to be body weight squats. This time I want you to try and keep chest up, try and keep back flat, feet flat on the floor, and just try and get as many good reps in as you can. Okay, it's going to be a minute of each exercise, 4 minutes. 4 minutes, sorry, Sam Tennant, I've just spotted your screen name. So it's going to be 4 minutes altogether. It's 1 minute of squats. I'll demo the next exercise about halfway through that minute. So first exercise, guys, 1 minute. We're going for it, just that squat down, right back up. Just keeping things moving as much as you can. Okay, going in, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So now is where we start to bring in that intensity. So try and spend as little time as possible with legs straight. So again, once you stand up, don't waste sort of 30 seconds in this position. It's then right down into that next rep. Try and string them together as much as you can. Sitting right down into it, right the way back up. Play about with that leg position if you want, if you can. So if you want to go feet narrow, feet wide, doesn't matter, okay? Have a play. See what suits you best. So we're trying to get the heart rate up a little bit with this. We're now going to come into some pike push-ups. So that is the bum up in the air as high as you can get, like your downward facing dog, trying to lower the top of your head to the floor. You've still got 20 seconds left. But your next one, bum up in the air, try and get top of the head to the floor and back up. So from the side, it should look like that. Going to change over in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Off we go. So we're into those pike push-ups. So bum up into the air, high as you can get it. Try and get top of the head towards the floor. Obviously don't cave your head into the floor. There's very seldom any point in life where that's a good idea. This is good. So keep that going for this next minute. You're going to be back onto your feet. We're going to come into side lunges. We're going to do 30 seconds right, 30 seconds left. So when you stand up, you'll be stood out to one side and you step out with the right foot, or obviously with the left foot if you do it the other way around. It's up to you. So we're going to change over into that side lunge. You step out, big lunge, step back in and swap sides. Ready? And change over. Off we go. So it's that step out, big step, big drop into that lunge and back in. 30 seconds, all on the same leg. So I'm just stepping out with my right, pushing off my right for 30 seconds. At the end of that 30 seconds, I'm going to stand over here and do the same thing on the other side. Just really push off. I'm going to change over to the other side in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and swap sides. So it's the same thing, just the opposite leg this time. So now I'm stepping out with the left, push off, push back in. So we're trying to get those hips moving in different directions. Now the last one, the fourth exercise, is a Spider-Man push-up. Some of you guys may have done these before, sometimes known as reptile push-ups, as alligator push-ups, all different variations. But what I want you to do, you're going to try and drive your knee to your elbow on every rep. Going to change over in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So knee towards your elbow on every rep. And keep alternating sides. So as you drop into the press up, as you drop down into the press up, your knee comes up towards your elbow, back in, and then same thing on the other side each time. If you struggle with the press up side of things, anybody, your option, or if you're carrying any maybe upper body injury that prevents you from doing press ups, you can do a plank. You hold that forearm position and you go knee to armpit and knee to armpit. You don't have to do any press ups in that position, you can just hold that body position. Still 15 seconds. Into this 15 seconds, you get 30 seconds to recover. And then we start round number 2. Time. Okay guys, that's the end of round 1. The end of round 1. So there's no changes. Everything remains the same, okay? So we're going to go through same round. This is the second round, penultimate round. For the record, I've probably told you this at some of these stages. Penultimate, one of my favorite words. So we're starting off with those squats again. Going in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So we're straight into those squats. Again, just set that pace. Try and keep that rhythm going as much as you can. Play about with the leg position if you need to. But again, we're just trying to get as many good reps in 1 minute as possible. As many good reps in 1 minute as possible. This is good. So again, we worked a little bit on the mobility side of things with the deep squat at the start. Not looking for that amount of depth, but I'm looking for a decent squat, a decent depth. It looks pretty good across the board on the Zoom. I'll give Gaz a pass even though I can't see him on camera. They're usually fairly good. 15 seconds. At the end of that 15 seconds, we're back into those pike push-ups. So pike push-ups, so bum in the air, top of the head to the floor, and back up. 3, 2, 1, and change over, off we go. So we're into those pike push-ups. So hips up into the air, top of the head towards the floor, and back down. Now of course, if you reach a stage where you lower your head down and you don't think you can push back up, just drop to your knees and reset each rep. Just focus on good quality on the way down. Don't leave dents in the floor, don't leave dents in your head. Depends on how much your security deposit is in flats as to whether or not you decide one is more valuable than the other. 15 seconds, and we'll go back into those side lunges, 30 seconds on each side. So again, step out to the side, make sure you've got room on one side so you can step in, big lunge, big push off each time. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we're into those side lunges, make it a nice quick changeover, or as quick as you can manage, because of course you've only got half the time on this side, so it's 30 on one side, 30 on the other. It's up to you to try and get that, to make the most of that time. So again, this one and the pike push-ups are much more like you'll end up doing on a rugby field. Maybe you won't end up doing these exact moves, but they're a bit more sport-like. Okay guys, switch sides. So same thing on the other side. So we're on to that step out, big lunge, big push off each time. So when I say that, you might not lunge sideways on the field. Maybe you might, who knows. But again, if you're going to try and avoid somebody, if you're going to try and pull off a side step, you've got to have that strength to push off. In the same vein, if you are doing, say you're working in the line out, you were doing that push, that vertical push overhead, like the pike push-ups. You got 5 more seconds and we're back into your Spider-Man push-ups for the second time. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So it's in that push-up position. When you drop down, knee comes to the elbow and back up into that full press-up position. And then alternate sides. So you just keep swapping sides with it. Again, if you need that slightly easier version, plank position instead of being on your hands. So it takes the press up element out of it, but you still drive that knee up towards the elbow. So if anybody was to take a photo, bird's eye photo, it would look like Spider-Man scaling a building. I think that's the idea behind it. Me, I was much more partial to Adam West scaling a building. For once, there might be somebody else on the Zoom old enough to get some of my references. Time, guys, time. You get 30 seconds to recover. 30 seconds to recover. So we've got that same circuit, just one more time round. That's our 12-minute block. Well, plus 13-minute really, if you count the 2 rests that you've got as well. And then we're going to go into a little core block, and that is us for today. Okay, so it's really, really simple. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy. Okay, get yourself back up onto your feet. We're back into the squats for the final time. So again, 1 minute going in. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we're into those squats again, sitting right down into it, right the way back up. Again, just try and set that rhythm as soon as you keep moving. Don't allow yourself to slow down. Try and avoid stopping at any point if you can. Obviously, if you're absolutely gassed, take a break. You've worked yourself to that point. But don't just take a rest for the sake of it. Just try and keep that rhythm going. Okay? I'm using the ground just as a marker, so I've got my hands touching the floor on each rep. Just shows that I'm getting that consistent depth each time. Sitting right down into it. Trying to keep going for that full minute. Talking and doing the squats. Obviously, as you guys can tell, not that easy. So you're going into those pike push-ups next. That's in 10 seconds time, where you got to bum up into the air, top of the head, towards the floor. 3, 2, 1, and change. Off we go. So again, hips up, high up into the air, top of the head, to the floor, and back up. So it's like you're doing a handstand push-up. If you reach the stage where you cannot push back up, you lower down, drop to your knees, and reset. So you can just keep that rhythm going, even though your arms are starting to get tired. You just move to the next easiest version. Looking good. We're coming into those side lunges. We are coming into those side lunges in 10 seconds time. So you're going to be on your feet, stepping out to the side, dropping into that lunge. Nice quick change in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So it's that step out, big deep lunge, big push off each time. So again, if you can, try and avoid having feet touching the floor together. So the foot stays off the floor. It's almost like you step in and then you're already falling into that next rep each time. Just 30 seconds. So remember, every time you do something, it's the last time you do it. Changing over in 3, 2, 1, swap sides. So same thing on the opposite side this time. It's good, really nice push off each time. This is good. Really good. 15 seconds and then you're into those final set of Spider-Man push-ups. Going in 3, 2, 1, change over. So we're into that final set of Spider-Man push-ups. So that push-up, knee comes up towards the elbow as you press out, knee goes back down, up on the other side, back down each time. Good, so again, 45 seconds, then that is this block done. You then get a much longer rest before we start the next block. I say much longer. It's probably going to be about a minute instead of half a minute. But still, longer is longer. Good, 20 seconds remaining, 20 seconds remaining. Like I say, 12 minutes. That's this bit done. 12 minutes of work, that's this bit done, I should say. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay guys, time. See, 12 minutes done on that one. So our next one is going to be a 5-minute block, okay, a 5-minute block. What we're going to look at doing is going to be 5 bridges over each shoulder, so I'll kind of demo that for you in just a second. And then once you've done 5 bridges over each shoulder, it is going to be 30 V-sits. Okay, so there's two versions of the V-sits that we can go for, and it's up to you just to see how many rounds you can get in of good quality reps. So I'll demo first of all both the exercises, because you'll be going through them at different paces. So you're going to go for a bridge, so your feet planted on the floor, knees bent. That's going to be 5 over each shoulder. So you're going to roll onto one shoulder, reach out behind, back in, reach out with the other shoulder. So that's that up and over, 5 over each shoulder. Each time, that big reach, big twist. When you've done those, you're then into your V-sits. So creating that hollow body shape, up into a V shape and back down for 30 reps. So again, I'll show that one from the side. So it's from that hollow body shape, up into a V and back out. If you struggle with balance, just pop hands just behind the hips. Same exercise. The more you bend your knees, the easier that exercise becomes. Any questions on either of those? Just give us a quick thumbs up. Looks all right. Just about reluctant thumbs up, reluctant thumbs up. Okay guys, we're going to go. It's going to be 5 minutes. That's it. That's the last bit. Go through it at your own pace. I want you to try and keep moving where you can, okay? So try not to take any rests. Going in, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So 5 bridges over each shoulder. So you roll slightly onto your side. So again, I'll show that one from the side as well. So you'll roll onto one shoulder and then reach back as far as you can. And the same thing, tuck in, roll onto the other shoulder, reach back as far as you can. That's 5 over each shoulder. And then once you've done that, it is 30 V-sits. That's good. So as you roll to that side, try and drive the hips up and off the floor as well. So you've got the roll, but as you roll up, it's those hips come right up off the floor as well. So you end up, your shoulder and your feet is the only thing touching the floor when you're on one side. So that's your basic movement, hips up and down, but then it's that adding that twist into it as well. There's 1 minute gone already. So you know at this stage you're not going to get through a million rounds. It's not going to be one of those. Good. So again, if you've got that, just to demo again, it comes down to that stretch out, so legs stretch out, and then it's both come up at the same time and both go back down at the same time. Now, if you struggle with balance, because it is tricky, hands go behind and you still have that up and down. So notice I'm on my hands, I'm almost leaning back onto my elbows and then back up onto my hands again. Easier said than done. But don't forget, I get paid to make these things look easy. 15 seconds, that'll take us to 2 minutes. So fast approaching halfway, fast approaching. So we are 34 sessions into this now, and you'd think by now the guys who do the Zoom sessions regularly would know that giving me some sort of pained look over the camera doesn't really have much of an effect on me, but it doesn't stop them trying. Not just you, not just you. So there are 3 people currently on there, and I think all 3 of them have shot me a look at some stage or another during this session, sometimes more than once. You are past halfway, so you are much closer to the end than you are to the start. So you've done your 12-minute block, you've done your warm-up, that side of things is done, okay? That side of things is done. We've got 2 minutes and just 5 seconds. So 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. 120 seconds now, 120 seconds, 2 minutes, and that is it. Okay, so there is 0 left after that. You can go make a brew, put some ice in the bath, go for an ice bath. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, just as it's an option. It's an option. 90 seconds remaining, 90 seconds. This is good, looks really nice. Keep working. So you will find, especially with 30 reps of this, the core is going to be fatiguing quite rapidly. So if you have been doing one variation and you need to make it easier for yourself, that is absolutely fine. So again, I've run out of room a little bit with the radiator wall behind me, so it would be that stretch out and both come up. So imagine you're trying to touch your shins and then back out. Touch the shins and back out. If you manage that quite easily, keep going with that. If you can't, if you find you're falling all over the place, which is definitely possible as you tire out, just use that balance. So again, that reach out, tuck in. Just that little movement each time. Keeping that core racing. 45 seconds, less than a minute to go. Flying through. You should have made this longer. Looking really solid though, guys. Really, really solid. So you've got 30 seconds remaining. 3-0. Last 20, 20 seconds left to go. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. So, as always guys, well done. Give yourselves a little bit of little round of applause, a little well done on that one. That's a fairly tough, fairly short, but fairly tough one that we've done tonight. Go through a little bit of a cool down, a little bit of a stretch. Nothing major. You don't have to be there for 20 minutes or anything. Any feedback, as always, get in touch with me directly on Instagram or Facebook at Neil Gallagher Training. Alternatively, get in touch with your captains, get in touch with your coaches. They can get that feedback to me and I can put it into future sessions. So for now, this is me signing off, guys, and I will see you next Monday. Well done.